So we did the 4th route. Now we have the last route available to us that we're gonna do. You know, it seems like, I don't know, like going through, I can't remember like who died in each route, but like I feel like the last route, I feel like that was the highest body count. You know, of people just dying, you know, so I wonder, in the last route, do even more people die or something? Does like the world get destroyed? I don't know, I guess we'll see. Keeps like, I don't know, it just seems like, you know, the more routes we do, the more people die. But alright, let's go back to, let's see, over here. Whoa. Who should I ask for help? Why, it would be Waltz. Technically the very first option right here. No, we didn't have that option before. Hey, Waltz. Let's, I guess, I don't know, romance the shoulder? No, I guess, no, technically, he's not technically a little kid, even though he looks like it. I swear, he was just here earlier. Maybe he went back inside. I swear, officer, he's an adult, he's not a kid. Anyway. I stop and stare at the small orbs of light floating around the room. What's going on? No, this isn't it. You know, whenever you do that, this particle effects, it lags my computer, so if you could, like, not do that, Waltz, that would be nice, no? I watch in awe as Waltz snaps his fingers and all the orbs disappear with a pop. Oh, princess. What are you doing? Practicing my next magic trick. I still haven't perfected it. How come you're able to use magic? Are you a witch? A fairy? A good magician never reveals his secrets. Oh, we do know he is a witch. Right. Did you need anything? I take a deep breath. Can you teach me about goodness? Huh? Why do you look so surprised? Well, it's just that I didn't think you'd come to me for help. If you don't want to. Oh no, that's not it at all. I'm happy you asked me. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, officers. He like turns to an adult later on, it's fine, anyway. What would you like to know about goodness? How do you do a good deed? That's a very broad question. I don't think I can give you a specific example. Then how do I do good? The easiest way to do good is make someone happy. So a good deed would involve making someone happy. How do I do that? I don't know. Give them money. I don't know, something like that. So that would not really be a good deed. It's just giving someone money. But I don't know, unless it's like, you know, like a charitable donation or something. Maybe that's a good deed. Well, I find Waltz sitting in the corner of the tavern reading a book. You didn't strike me as the kind of person that would read books. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Well, to be honest, I wouldn't be reading this if I wasn't preparing for one of my shows. Shows? I don't just do magic shows, I perform puppet shows as well. I have to be familiar with several bedtime stories for those. You should come with me sometime. The children are always so happy at the shows. You might get one of your good deeds helping out. I've never been around children for extended amounts of time. You gotta be patient too. Children can be difficult to handle, yeah. I don't like working with kids. They suck? They're horrible? No. You speak as if you are a child yourself. That's because I'm not a child. Oh, and I don't know. I mean, I say that all children are... Not all children are horrible, but most are. They also have bad hygiene. Look, I was like a student tutor for a bit. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the worst, but I just don't like working with children. Anyway. Waltz hates it when he's treated like a child, especially when Karma teases him about it. Besides, patience isn't just for children. It's necessary in a lot of situations. I would guess you might need work on that. Excuse me. Waltz shrugs and with an awkward smile returns to his book. Okay. Alright, and then we Skippy, 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 skippy. I guess you just fast forward. Fast forward. Go. Alright. We must choose the route. We must choose him. Yeah, it's Waltz. Yeah, he's the red eyes. Yeah. So. Peter Pan. I decided that I cannot waste any more time. Next day, I searched for Waltz as soon as the broom stops dragging me around. I swear he was just here a while ago. Denise, have you seen Waltz? Oh, I just saw him walk back out inside. I find him talking with Parfait and Delora in the reception area. All of them are speaking in solemn whispers. As soon as Parfait and Delora notice me, they break off their conversation with Waltz. Both the witch and the fairy step away from Waltz. Excuse us, princess. I watch curiously as Delora and Parfait leave the room without another word to me. What were they talking about? Waltz turns in my direction and smiles. A morning, princess. I turn toward Waltz and watch as he begins to put some puppets on the table into a box. Are these toys yours? These? Oh, they're for a show I'm doing later. I wouldn't be playing with these at my age. You look 12. 12. I do not see how that's too old to be playing with dolls. I told you before, didn't I? I have the Neverland curse. He never explained what his curse was. I'm actually older than you are. I find that hard to believe. You don't know the story of Peter Pan, do you? It's not my fault that Mother had all the fairy tales removed from the palace. When I do not answer, Waltz only sighs and gives me a small smile. I'll assume that's a yes. Peter Pan is a boy who lives in Neverland. It's a place where no one ever grows up. I'm stuck in a child's body as a result of my curse. I won't revert to my real form until my curse is broken. And how old are you really? I'm 22 this year. What? I can only stare in shock at Waltz's childish appearance. It's hard to believe that he's actually older than I am. I've never liked being treated as a child. That's never changed. Even when I was a child, I didn't like it. Let me assure you that's much more annoying being treated like a child by someone who's younger than you. Waltz straightens with the box in his arms. Now, if my princess will excuse me. You know, if I remember correctly, the original story of Peter Pan, you know, not the Disney version, but the actual original story of Peter Pan, it's actually quite horrific. I remember something like how, like in the island or whatever, the world of Neverland, how the kids, like, it's supposed to be like a world where kids never grow up, but technically they still grow up, technically. But when they do turn to a certain age, I guess, like 18 or something like that, they just get killed, I guess. They get executed or something like that. So technically that's how, you know, they keep it the world of only kids, because all the adults just die, I think, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's not exactly like that. But if I remember correctly, you know, Peter Pan, actually pretty, you know, hardcore, again. Local child angry at being treated like a child. Oh no. He turns to leave. Where are you going? I have a show to do today. Waltz does so many puppet and magic shows. How will he help me break my curse if he's never around? And also, yeah, I wonder why Waltz hates being treated as a kid. You know, I mean, you know, maybe it's like a common thing, but like, I wonder if there's any deeper meaning to that. You know, maybe he didn't like being a kid. In that case, you know, because normally when you think about it, like for most people anyway, when you're a kid, it's not too bad. You know, like you have less responsibilities. You know, you have generally parents that feed you and you know and everything. I guess not everyone might have that experience, but most people do. So I wonder, like, if he doesn't like being treated as a child, I wonder if he had a bad childhood. I don't know. Anyway, I'll go with you. What? I might accomplish a good deed if I come to one of your shows. Oh, that's true, but... Waltz sighs. I'm not sure it's a good idea. There are bad witches out there. Oh, there's an evil witch right here in the Martian, but no one's protecting me from her. Are you talking about Delora? Who else would I be referring to? Waltz stares at me for a long moment, eyes thoughtful. He sets the box down on the table again. Don't go anywhere. I'll ask Lady Parfait first. I'll ask Mom. He leaves the room. I lean over the box on the table and see a pile of carefully detailed puppets. Everything looks handmade. I used to sew my own puppets for Mother found out and forbade me from making them. She told me that sewing was not something a crown princess should do. I mean, they don't? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Is it normal? Is it not? Or is it, interesting. Waltz's footsteps are so soft that I don't even notice that he has returned to the room until I see him standing before me. I step away from the box. How does he move so quietly? They have like silent shoes. Well, permission granted. Come on, the show starts in an hour. Okay, we're gonna play with puppets. Amazing. I watch as Waltz sets up a small booth on the street when I first seen him with Emmeline. Back then, I never thought I would see him again. It's nice to see you actively try to break your curse. I shrug. I'm not convinced this will work, but prefer to say that if I partner up with someone, I might be able to break my curse faster. Oh, you chose a partner with me? His tone of voice startles me. He sounds both happy and sad. Was he lying when he said he wanted to help me? That everyone in the market was willing to help me? Would you rather I pick someone else? No. I join his sudden reaction. Waltz awkwardly clears his voice. No, I'll do everything I can to help you. Waltz heads for the back of the booth. I begin to follow him, but I'm forced to stop when he holds out his hand. You haven't had enough training to be my personal assistant yet, princess. What? I stare at him, puzzled. I never said I wanted to be your personal assistant. In training? Why would one need training to assist with a children's show? I mean, I don't know, in the world of entertainment, you probably do need some training. Even if it is just for children. You might just be able to snag a good date if you agree to become my assistant, you know. There's a teasing twinkle in Waltz's eyes as he waves me off. But until you're ready, you should save the children and just watch the show. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy this story. I recommend getting a place up front. You'll be able to see the action that way. You know, isn't that weird? You know, like a crowd with children and there's Lucette in front. When I do not move, Waltz sighs and smiles at me. I promise the children won't bite you unless you bite them first. Fine. That's my star. Star. He disappears around the back, leaving me alone. In no time at all, people begin to gather. Soon there's an impressive audience around Waltz's small booth. I look up at the group of children that are all clustered as close as possible in the front. They're all clearly excited for the show to start. I used to do puppet shows with my dolls too. I felt less alone when I pretended my dolls could talk. You know, that's a amusing image. You know, I'm just thinking, I don't know, it would probably not be like an actual CG, but I just think like, you know, Lucette alone in her room with her dolls talking to each other. Why, hello there, Miss Piggy, or I don't know, anyway. And I'm still alone. Nothing has changed. I sigh as I sidestep to allow someone else to stand beside me. I'm surprised to see that the person is an adult. I look out at the gathering crowd of people and find there's an almost equal ratio of children and adults. I mean, you know, probably their parents, you know, aunts and uncles. Why would adults be something as childish as a puppet show? I mean, you know, when you think, well, you know, the equivalent of it in real life, you know, if there's like a children's movie or whatever, there probably are adults there because, again, you know, you come as a family, not just as only children. Obviously, like, children can't be left by themselves as well, you know. Hello, everyone. Excited silence falls over the area as Waltz's voice rises above the crowd. I, Waltz, am here once again to share another story with you. I hope you enjoy the show. Once upon a time, there was a village whose people were always happy. But one day, an evil witch found the village. The evil witch carried darkness deep in her heart. She was jealous of the townsfolk, who were filled with so much light and happiness. You know, I sympathize with the evil witch. Anyway, if I cannot be happy, the evil witch said, then no one can be happy. How overly dramatic. I mean, but isn't that just happening in real life? Or at least not like real life, but real life in the story anyway, of the world of Cinderella phenomenon. I almost jump when I feel a tug in my dress. I look down to see a little boy pulling at the hem of my skirt, though his eyes remain focused on the puppets. I don't like her. That witch, she's bad. His grip on my skirt tightens. He's wriggling my dress. Well, screw you, kid. Again, I don't know. At least the story so far, I sympathize with the evil witch, you know? I mean... I also want to, like, turn off the right choice indicator again. I don't know, whatever. Just turn it off. Just, like, you know... Again, I'm probably not gonna get, like, a good ending the first time around, but I kinda just want to get rid of it, because then I can just, you know... not be stressed about it until the very end. You know, take your hands off me. I reached down to pry the boy's hand off my skirt, but the boy moves faster than me. The moment I pull his hand away, he quickly refastens his grip, this time around my hand. Well, hey. The boy does not move his hand. In fact, his hold only tightens, so much that I find it impossible to pull my hand away. There's no way I can make him let go without causing a scene. Now I'm gonna be stuck holding the hand of a little boy I did not know until the end of the show. Well, you know what? Oh well. How did this happen? Darkness spread over the village. The people began to suffer. They forgot what happiness felt like. One villager decided to leave and find a good witch that would help save everyone from the evil witch. This villager knew it would be very dangerous, for if he were discovered, the evil witch would certainly kill him and his family. You know, isn't this just your backstory, Waltz? I think this is your backstory. Like, literally what happened, you know, with Hadir and everything. Waltz, you know, betrayed Hadir so he could find the fairies and everything and, you know, defeat Hadir. But the man knew he had to try if he ever wanted to see the other villagers smile again. Many days later, the man finally returned with a good witch whose heart was as filled with light as the evil witch's was filled with darkness. The good witch, unable to bear the sight of the villagers' suffering, decided to help them. She cast a powerful spell that would send the evil witch away and save the village at the cost of her own life. I mean, oh, interesting story, because that literally happened in the last route. Once the spell was cast, the darkness disappeared from the village. To this day, the people of the village are said to carry the good witch's light within them, and everyone lived happily ever after. Clap, 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 clap. But aren't all witches evil? And that's simply not true. I've met a good witch, one with a heart more light and loving than any fairies. More of the children began to ask questions. I sigh, unable to do anything except wait while Waltz is bombarded with questions. Thank you. The boy that took my hand gives it one last squeeze before running off to join his friends. Okay, what did he thank me for? Once the audience finally leaves, Waltz comes out from behind the booth and smiles up at me. The show was a success. A princess? There was a boy. He thanked me even though I did nothing for him. Oh, the little boy was with you? But you did do something. You held his hand. Lewd. I did not want to. I realized that when I saw the annoyed look on your face. It would have been good for you to do it if you meant to calm him down. What? That boy was really frightened by the evil witch in the show. He thanked you because you held his hand and stayed with him even when he was scared. Sometimes just having someone beside you when you're afraid is enough. Having someone beside you? I think back on all the times I felt scared. Oh, Mother always told me to hide my fear and to never cry because it made me appear weak. I could never ask her for her help, and the king was never there for me. Every time I was afraid, I was always alone. I shake off the memories and realize that Waltz is asking me a question. What do you think of the show? It was short and simple. That's it? I created that entire show, you know. Story, characters, everything. It could have been better. You wooed me. I have nothing more to say, Waltz seems disheartened by my silence. You always compliment my stories, even when they were silly. Waltz, tell me stories? I don't recall such a thing. It makes it sound as if we've known each other for a long time. Yeah, I never thought about that. You know, considering Waltz was like Hadir's like apprentice and everything, before he betrayed her, maybe he was around the palace? Or at least, you know, maybe no, I don't know, I don't remember if they were at the palace, you know, the entire time. But maybe Waltz did know Lucette? You know, some of these B shonens just know Lucette somehow. Somewhere or another. Before I can ask him for clarification, he changes the topic. Do you mind accompanying me to the toy shop before we head back? Do I have a choice? Waltz's lips quirk with a smile as he picks up his materials. You might have fun, princess. Come on. This is the shop I went to before I was cursed. Feel free to look around, princess. It won't be too long. I nodded him before walking over to the doll display. Dolls here are actually beautiful. But with the gold I have left, I wouldn't be able to afford even one. I miss my dolls. Papa, I want that one. The sound of a little girl's voice draws my attention. I look around the store before spotting a little girl pointing at a big teddy bear. She looks expectantly at the man beside her. That must be her father. The man shakes his head, his eyes filled with regret. We can't afford that one, dear. Could you choose something else? The girl looks like she's on the verge of bawling. I back away, fearing that the child might throw a tantrum. Oh boy. Instead, she rubbed at her eyes while looking up at her father with a slow smile. I understand. The man smiles and pats her head. Oh, what a good daughter. Thank you for understanding, sweetheart. You're being so grown up. I only need you and Mama to be happy. Ah yes, the anime, child that can do no wrong. I feel like this is less likely in real life. I don't know. I love you, Papa. I love you too. Because the times I've seen, in real life anyway, kids just throwing an actual tantrum in a store or in a mall because they didn't get what they want. I feel like that's more likely. I don't know. Maybe it's confirmation bias. Anyway, the king has never once told me that he loved me. He must be better off without me. Do I even belong in the palace anymore? Papa, look, the king! The moment I hear her say his title, I quickly rush from the toy shop. Hail the king! Long live the king! Long live, hail King Gennaro! Yay! He's the first one I see, mounted on his favorite white stallion as he waves at everyone. Ah yes, long live the king! I spot Ophelia, Rod, and Emmeline with him, mimicking his emotions. The king used to invite me to join him before, but I always declined. He always went out alone. Once a month, the king sets out to check on the conditions of the kingdom in person. It's his way of bonding with the townsfolk. The Order of Caldera charles behind the royal family, with Sir Alcaster at the head, but there's one particular person that's missing. It's strange that Fritz isn't here. The parade is an impressive sight. The crowds lining the streets become denser with each passing second. I weave around the mess of people in an attempt to get closer to the king. Thank you, everyone. He's smiling, a true smile. I've never seen a smile like that at me. The heaviness begins to weigh down my heart. Suddenly it becomes harder to breathe. Please look this way. Please look at me. The king is looking happier these days, isn't he? I don't think I've ever seen him so joyful. It must be his family. Happier? All I want is for the king to look at me, to see me. But he does not so much as glance my way once. I stare at the ground with bleary eyes. I feel like this theme has been went over a million times, because probably because we're doing the same route technically, or not the same route, but in every route, we always have the same motif. She's always the palace. My rightful place is the palace, but actually no one misses you, and no one actually cares about you, and is actually happier without you and everything, right? This always happens in every route, but I don't know. I feel like they because developer assumes that you're gonna play through all the routes anyway. Especially this one can only be unlocked by playing the other routes. I kind of wish they don't do the same thing, and they do, and they do the other routes. We do learn different things, different things happen and everything. We learn about different characters, but again, the same theme where she's like, my dad doesn't love me, whatever, right? It just happens again and again and again. We've been through this, Lucette. I know you don't have knowledge of the other timelines, but me as a player or the reader, I guess, I know this already, so you don't have to repeat it to me. After that rant, he's happy without me. How sad. I return to the toy shop with a heavy heart. The little girl from earlier is standing with her father by the door. He ruffles her hair before holding his hand out to her with a smile. She takes it with a giggle and the two walk off together. A hot ache sings through my blood as I watch them leave. Is this jealousy? I reach up and clutch at my chest. My heartbeats feel painful. This is a terrible feeling. Princess? Lucette? I stare at Waltz, temporarily stunned by the fact that he called me by my name and not my title. Are you okay? Despite myself, I find my eyes drawn back to the little girl and her father as they stand just outside the door to the toy shop. Princess? Princess? Yeah. Let's just say I'm fine. I'm fine. I gotta hide my feelings, right? Because again, we're the Ice Princess Lucette. We reverted back, you know, and everything. So we gotta hide our feelings, right? Well, you don't look fine to me at all. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the little girl and her father as they disappear into the crowd outside the toy shop. I am. You still act tough even though you're hurting inside. I'm not here. Oh, okay. What is this for? In case you suddenly feel like crying. I'm not going to cry. I'm not that weak. Waltz frowns when I do not take the handkerchief from him. He puts it back into his pocket with a shake of his head. Crying doesn't make you weak, princess. Waltz's gaze moves to the set of teddy bears displayed on one of the shelves. He's quiet for a few moments before he speaks. He's affected by the curse. What? The king. He can't remember you because of the curse. That doesn't mean he never cared about you. That's the reason you look so down, right? I was looking outside. I saw the way you looked at him. Does he know that's rude to stare? Oh, how did I look? Hurt. I turn away before Waltz can see the frustration on my face. He loves you, you know. More than you ever know. And how would you know that? You don't know him at all. Everyone has their own ways of expressing their love. I'm sure he has in all his own ways. By not being there when I needed him, he's never acted like a father to me. Princess, don't pretend to know what my life at the palace was like, Waltz. This conversation is over. Let's return to the Martian. I have a feeling that he does know what life at the palace is like, you know. Look at what I drew. Lucette, you know you're not meant to be in here. But I drew this picture of us. See, that's Mother and me. And you're holding Mother's hand. Go play somewhere else, Lucette. I'm busy. But you're always busy, Father. I just wanna... Go to your mother. I'm sure she's looking for you. Okay. I mean, yeah, it looks like he does, like, you know, neglect his daughter and everything. Seems like from her memories anyway. And I believe those flashbacks are like the memories that if you think about it, is like Hadir, you know, the memories that Hadir kind of like wipe away and everything, right? So those flashbacks are kind of like her memory coming back to her every time. Because I guess her power, because her initial spell did work on her, I guess, but like it kind of like fades away because like Hadir is technically like stuck in the crystal and everything, right? Anyway, I'm vaguely aware of the moonlight in my room when I sit up in my bed, heart beating painfully fast. What was I dreaming about? I felt like I was dreaming about the king, but why now? A few days have already passed since I saw him. Well, I mean, think about it. That's how dreams work, though. You know, often you dream about things that you don't really think about because, I guess, it's kind of a theory. I'm not sure, like it's like completely true, but at least as far as I know, dreams tend to be about memories you subconsciously forget, right? So they come back to you in the form of dreams and everything, and then you can kind of remember them one last time before you forget them, or I guess, or something like that. I fell back into the bed, closed my eyes, and once again attempt to sleep, but it hovers stubbornly out of my reach. What was that? Who could be making that noise at this time of night? I step out of my bed and head outside to investigate. There's no one here. The sound is coming from the tavern. Okay. I mean, in any kind of game, they give the option for you to investigate something. You always do it. Duh. I slowly turn the knob and open the door. Hello? Oh, it's the broom. The broom begins to hop toward me. I begin to back away. It's the middle of the night. There's no way I'm gonna sleep now. The broom just hops past to cower behind me. That's some broom you got there. Waltz, what are you doing here? I couldn't sleep, so I decided to continue working on some of my puppets. But I accidentally stepped on the broom and I went berserk. I turned around and grabbed Mr. Broom, leaning it against his designated spot on the wall. Poor Mr. Broom. But why are you here? And Mr. Broom wants his own route as well, yeah. Where's the Mr. Broom route? Fix this game with an extra route. It's Mr. Broom. I heard a sound. As curious as always, that's gonna get you in trouble, you know. I don't need to be lectured by you. I apologize for waking you up. You should go back to sleep. I would not be here if I could sleep. I might as well stay for a while. If that's what you want. Waltz turns back to his puppets on the table, leans down over the puppets, checking their seams. Since you're here, I think you can help me. Help you. Okay. Like a weird chameleon thing? What do you think of my newest puppet? I look at Waltz with surprise, with his eyes so wide, his lower lip jutting out, he almost looks like a puppy begging for a treat. Is he expecting a compliment on the puppet? Well, I look closely at the puppet's eyes. It looks evil? Really? I'm glad to hear that. It's gonna be the villain in my next show. Thank you for the help, Princess. I'm glad that my mentor approves. Mentor? Mentor? Waltz doesn't answer. That's it? Indeed. I only offered an opinion, but he looked so happy. What a weird person. Mentor. Interesting. You did mention Lucette did mention that she made puppets before. Or her mother stopped her, I guess. And also Chameleon. Chameleon kind of reminds me of Karma, right? Karma. Actually, what was that song, actually, when I think about it? Because Karma was his nickname, right? Or Chameleon was Karma's nickname and everything. But there's also just like a random note, there's a song about that, isn't there? Like Karma, Chameleon, you know, something like that. Is his name reference to that? I don't know. Anyway, Waltz resumes his sewing in silence. He's very talented to be able to sew such a complicated animal. He has probably been doing this for a long time to be so skilled, possibly even longer than I expect, considering the nature of his curse. You look like you've got something on your mind, Princess. Well, you have never actually told me how to break your curse. I guess I haven't. Waltz clears his throat as he goes back to his sewing. I need to find Tinkerbell in Neverland. Oh right, you don't know the story. Mother burned all the fairy tale books in the palace before I could read most of them. Nobody would tell me any of the stories. Mother always forbid me from talking about them. Well, Peter Pan is a story of a boy who never grows up. He's accompanied by a fairy friend named Tinkerbell, and the two of them live together in Neverland. In my case, Tinkerbell is a key that can open Neverland. Neverland is a box, a family heirloom. My shadow is being kept in Neverland. That shadow is my magic. Once I get it back, my curse will break. Magic? I'm a witch, Princess. Okay, he's just outright say it. I guess he's never really kept it as like a big secret or anything. He says it so nonchalantly, like stating what his job is. He and Delora are the same. I've seen Waltz conjure flowers from thin air before, but I never associated that with the type of magic that witches do. You're a witch. A cursed witch? How is that possible? Well, only the tavern bearer has the ability to curse another witch. It's why I can only do simple magic nowadays. If I ever want to cast proper spells again, I'm gonna need to find Tinkerbell and Neverland. You don't know where Tinkerbell and Neverland are? No, I don't. Does that mean you're stuck in this form forever? Well, how about a story? I feel annoyance begin to simmer inside him. He's just gonna change the topic, okay. Why do you do that? You change the subjects to purposely avoid answering me. No, that's not it, Princess. I'm trying to explain, and I think a story is the best way for me to do that. I'm silent as Waltz reaches into his box of puppets. He pulls out 2 of them, then motions for me to sit in front of him. He holds out the puppet to me, and can tell he intends for me to wear it on my hand. Okay. He's a play of puppets. My feelings on the subject must show on my face, but Waltz is resolute. Please? I do not know what this will achieve, but maybe this way I will finally get some answers. Fine. Gonna play with puppets, okay. Waltz takes a deep breath. Once upon a time, there lived a princess who was always alone. She spent most of her time inside her room as her mother, the queen, forbade her from going out. The princess's only company were her dolls. But the princess so badly wanted friends that she would always sneak out of the palace to play with the children who lived in town. It's as if he's narrating my childhood. How do you... The Waltz continues speaking as if he does not hear me. One day, the princess met a boy. The boy was a few years older than her, and he was the queen's faithful servant. The boy could see how lonely the princess was, and his heart ached for her. They became friends. Every day he would sneak into her room and would play with her. He spent 2 years like that, until the queen found out. The boy was sent away, and he never saw the princess again, until a short while ago. I stumble back, and the puppet slides off my hand as I stare at Waltz, my mind whirling. Wow, we've known each other for a long time, Princess. Okay, I guess, again, we just put it out there. It's funny how Waltz just doesn't keep any secrets at all. He just says it outright. Because I'm thinking back to the other routes, all the other boys, they always just, wait until the very end or close to the end before they reveal all their secrets. Waltz just says it out loud. It's like, hey, by the way, I've known you for a while. Know that? This cannot be true. Waltz looks at me again, his expression full of melancholy. I always see that look. He wears it even when he's happy. He seems to carry that sadness with him wherever he goes. We were friends. I've never had any friends. I would have remembered. That's what you remember. Your memories have holes in them, gaps that you can't explain. How do you know that? Because I was there when the queen ordered that some of your memories be erased. Okay, maybe he's keeping that a secret though. At least for now, even though we do know, as the reader, that Lear is a witch and everything. Mother? But why? I don't believe you. I don't believe any of this. I'd expect you to believe me. Why is he looking at me like that? He looks like he's in pain. But he cannot be telling the truth. I stand up straight, my hands clenched into fists. I'm going back to my room. I almost run from the tavern area. Waltz is not trying to follow me. Waltz's words loop persistently in my mind. We were friends. I sit on one of the chairs in the reception area, trying to put my thoughts in order. There's no way that he was my friend. I would never have befriend such a... I don't know. I was gonna insult him or something, but I don't know what to insult him with. I don't know. Such a... I don't know. How do I insult... How do I insult him? What's a bad attribute he has? I guess... I mean, he's short, but he wasn't short. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, what's this? What would like to run to the princess at this hour? Though I must ask, why are you still awake, darling? I jump at the sound of Karma's voice. I turn to look at him. Karma frowns at the expression on my face. You look like you've seen a ghost. I mean... I'm trying to remember, did you die on the routes? Actually, I don't think so. I don't think Karma really died, so maybe not. I was gonna say that maybe you are a ghost in another timeline or something. I don't remember you dying, though. I don't know. Other people die. I don't think you died. I can only stare at him. I get... Oh, except the bad end, of course. Obviously, yeah. His own route, obviously. But other than that, he didn't die as a side character, anyway. Oh my. Is my beauty so captivating you find yourself at a loss for words? No, I was just thinking. About how beautiful I am? His ego knows no bounds. I roll my eyes and change the subject. What are you doing up this late? A nighttime stroll. I found myself filled with ennui. Right. I'll go and retire for the night now. Have a good sleep. It will be another long day tomorrow. You do not have to remind me. You still have a ways to go before you get used to the commoner's lifestyle. I certainly struggle with it. Karma barely works. All you ever see him slack off. But wait, are you a noble, Karma? Perhaps. Perhaps? Perhaps. This is going nowhere. This tavern is full of secretive people. I wonder if this lifestyle has anything to do with his curse. Well, I'm not planning to get used to the common lifestyle. I will break my curse as soon as possible. Oh, seems like we both have a long way to go before that happens, Princess. Okay. We don't want to play with you anymore. But why? We're friends, are we not? Friends? Who said that? You did. We were friends until you stopped sharing your toys. But that's because you still haven't... What? You haven't returned the toys I gave you. Returned them? You gave them to us. No, I did not. Let's go play with a real friend. Yeah, real friends aren't selfish. You know, I hate those type of people. Actually, I've had experience with people who like assume that you're giving them stuff and everything and they don't really give you anything back, you know? Those people suck. I warned you, dearest one. Didn't I tell you? Like, they assume, like, I don't know, like, maybe not, like, they assume that you owe them stuff, right? You owe them, like, you know, to borrow stuff or whatever, but, like, really, they call you selfish or whatever, right? But they're the selfish ones? I don't know, anyway. People only hurt you in the end. That's why I forbade you from playing with those children. I only want what's best for you. You know, again, in the Cinderella phenomenon, it's always man A, man B, girl A, girl B, woman A, woman B, you know, generic people, they're all just horrible people, so, I don't know, just always the case, I don't know. I'm sorry, mother, I'm so sorry. So the moral of the story is only trust people with actual names, you know, and also eyes. And then again, the main villains also have that, so I don't know. Anyway. Hush now, dearest one. Mother won't let anyone hurt you anymore. Okay. Family. What kind of family? I don't know. 3 weeks have passed since my encounter with the king. I'm once again in town with Waltz as he prepares for one of my shows, or one of his shows rather, not my show, his show. I've already lost count of how many of his shows I've watched at this point. The excursions have become part of my daily routine. Waltz has been insistent on training me as his assistant, so I've decided to play along. Even now I'm helping him construct his booth, though he refuses to let me carry anything too heavy. I've experienced so many new things these past few months, things I always want to experience, but I have never told anyone about. Somehow Waltz knew about all of them. Even when he told me that we were childhood friends and insisted that my memories of him had been erased, I hadn't believed him. But now, I'm beginning to believe that he's telling the truth about this forgotten friendship. Interesting. So Waltz really is like our childhood friend. He's the childhood friend, you know, love interest. Waltz smiles at me from where he's assembling the front of the booth. You used to dream about getting out of the palace to see Angel. And now you're here. You can't imagine how happy I am that I can finally fulfill all the promises I made to you. I still have reservations about believing your story, but Waltz, even if you did know me a long time ago, I am not the same. I hand him the small curtains for the booth, my head dipped so that I do not have to look him in the eyes. I'm not the child you used to know. I know that. But I also believe that the girl that I knew all those years ago, the one who was always so happy over the smallest things, that kind, sincere girl, is still you. How can that be when I don't think I've ever truly known what happiness feels like? You know, I wonder how long it's been, actually, when you think about it. I don't know. Because in every anime, especially like romance anime, Whenever there's a love interest that's a childhood friend, it's almost always the case. It's been 10 years. Always 10 years. I don't know why. But it's like, they've been childhood friends 10 years ago and they never met each other until 10 years later when they've grown up, and then they're like a love interest, So I wonder how long it's been for Lucette and Waltz. Has it been 10 years, or maybe like a few years? I don't know. I don't know, because she's like 17, right? Like, it was 10 years. She would have been like 7. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that would make sense. I don't know. After Waltz hangs the curtains, the booth is complete. I expect him to step off to the side as he always does, but he sets his palms down on the table instead and looks at me. When I saw you again that day, I was so happy. I thought fate had brought you back to me. Waltz's voice is very soft when he speaks. But then you still didn't recognize me. Waltz's voice trails off and I frown. There's so many things he's not telling me. Eventually, Waltz picks up his box of puppets and smiles at me brightly. Anyway, I've got a show to perform, so don't go anywhere. I notice that his smile does not reach his eyes as I watch him walk away. I look out at the crowd that has gathered for the show. A lot of families here today. I watch as 2 families approach each other. The adults begin to converse with each other while the kids run up to them from the crowd to catch a better glimpse of the show. Some of the children have shoes, but the parents are barefoot. All their clothes are dirty and torn. Their lives are clearly hard, but they're still smiling. No shoes? I don't know. I guess in maybe medieval time, shoes you gotta go to like a cobbler, I guess, and that costs money. So I don't know. I've never been in desperate need of clothes or food. Is it called a cobbler? Maybe not cobbler. Like a shoemaker, basically, I guess. I don't know why I think cobbler. Is a cobbler like someone who makes shoes or someone who like makes roads? I don't remember now. I don't know. How do I English? Anyway, I've never had to work for anything. I should have been happier than these people when I was a princess. But now, I'm beginning to see that the material things I had were never enough to buy me true happiness. But it's better than not having them, I don't know. Hello everyone. I take a step off to the side as Waltz begins his show. Waltz weaves his stories as seamlessly as he always does, captivating his audience with every word, but I'm not paying attention. My focus is locked in the 2 families standing near me. When I see these people, I cannot help but wonder, what kind of a life have I been leading? Waltz's show was a success yet again. He is smiling from ear to ear as he counts the coins he has earned as a reward for his good performance. You look happier than usual? I am. I've been saving money for a special toy and now can finally buy it. He says not like to be treated like a child, but he gets so excited whenever he mentions a new toy. I pause at the sound of laughter and look up to see a group of children talking excitedly to each other as they approach Waltz and I. This might be an opportunity. An opportunity? Must have been kind of traumatic to witness your childhood friend getting her memories erased in front of you and then acting like you never even existed. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I would not know how that would be like, because that's hard to imagine, actually. But I don't know. It's probably not a surprise, because for one, his appearance is like definitely like still a kid. Even if she didn't have her memories erased, like if it's been a long time, you probably wouldn't recognize the person, especially like even in real life, if you had like a childhood friend that you never met for a long time and they grow up and everything, probably they look a lot different and you probably don't know them, In fact, probably like in real life, they probably changed as well. So who knows? That it wouldn't be surprising that she wouldn't recognize him, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. An opportunity. Making these children happy might be a good deed. What? Waltz ignores me as he jogs up to the children. Waltz! The group of children swarm him, talking loudly as they each try to cling to him in some manner. We've been waiting for you to come back. But I was here a couple of days ago. But you didn't have time to play. Can we play now? Please, please, please! We've been good just like you told us. The boy looks around the group of children and they all nod their heads with eager agreement. Well, you've been good as you say. How can I say no? The children cheer. Huzzah! I'm gonna start counting now. Come on! You won't find us this time! There we go, like hide and seek, I guess. The children disperse around the area. I watch them go with disinterest. Well, that's your cue to hide, princess. What? Why do I need to take part in this? Oh, you don't want to play? But we used to play hide and seek all the time. I'm fairly certain I've never played a game like this with anyone before. Is this another memory that was taken from me, or is he lying? You know, maybe he's teasing us. I don't know. When you think about it, I don't know, because sometimes, well, not sometimes. What was I trying to say? Like, because you know, wouldn't it be like funny if we like mix up some like parts of the memory, like we didn't really have him, and he just like adds in like different parts that never really happened, and yet he says like it's part of our memory. I don't know. Maybe not. Big sister, play with us. Onesa. A little girl runs up to me and begins to pull me along with her. Hey. I look at Waltz, but he only smiles at me. It seems like I don't really have a choice. Waltz turns to face a wall, he covers his eyes and begins to count. Before I can react, the little girl has let go of me and is running off. What is going on? I turn and see a boy hiding behind a barrel. You have to hide before he finishes counting. Hey, didn't explain the rules of this game. How was I supposed to know what to do? But yeah, don't know hide and seek. No, he doesn't remember anyway. How to play hide and seek? I look around me to find places that I might hide. Oh, maybe behind a tree? Behind a fountain would also work. Or those wooden crates. You know, hide behind a cardboard box. Colonel. I'm using the best stealth device ever created. Cardboard box. Let's see. Yeah, maybe getting her memories erased was kind of good. The childhood friend often gets rejected. Yeah, always, you know, in every anime. Childhood friends never stand a chance. Unless they're the only love interest. In that case, maybe. But otherwise, I don't know. Wooden crates found in a tree. I mean, I don't know which one's the right one. I mean, probably, crates. Ready or not, here I come. I cannot believe I'm sitting on the dirt to avoid being seen. My dress is getting soiled because of a child's game. Found you. Yeah. My heart begins to race as I turn to look at him, but then I realize that Waltz has found one of the children. Oh, it wasn't me. Wait, why am I worried about being found? Got you! Every so often I hear Waltz proclaim that he's found someone, but he still hasn't found me. And then everyone leaves and we're left alone. Because everyone has forgotten about us anyway. Do I get something if I win this game? I still haven't found Big Sister yet. You're right, where could she be hiding? This is quickly becoming boring. Found you! Ah! I jump when I hear Waltz's voice behind me. He looks down at me in triumph. Oh, you won, princess? I won? Oh, looks like you're an expert at this game. I'm not. You just don't look hard enough. Oh, that doesn't change the fact that you still won the game. You should be happy. Great job, princess. Waltz pats me on the back and smiles once again before he turns his attention back to the children. He's right. His praise makes me feel strangely happy. Why? I don't know. Maybe you're just very competitive. Right, everyone, that's it. The children begin to whine, clearly disappointed. Aw, we only play one round. Now, don't be like that. I promise to play another game with everyone soon. Now run along, I'm sure your parents are looking for all of you. One of the children, a little girl, tugs on my sleeve. Thank you for playing with us, big sister. Please, come again. She smiles up at me before skipping away to join the rest of the children. I don't know, I've never trusted these people with no eyes. These people, they always betray me. No, anyway. All the children head off together back toward the residential area of the town. I like you. How do you know that? Did you see how happy they were when you joined in? Children are so easy to please. That's why I envy them. Adults aren't like children. They worry too much and don't appreciate the small joys in life. As we grow up, we forget how to be happy. Forget how to be happy? Interesting, we have this topic, and he has a Neverland curse and everything. I guess it's thematic. Waltz may be right about that. When I was younger, my dolls brought me so much joy, but now... Well, anyway, since you won, you deserve a treat. A treat? You'll like it, I promise. I sit on a wooden bench, waiting for Waltz to return. He said it would be easier for him to go alone because he wanted to surprise me. I did not protest. I've been on my feet all day. I never thought I'd be running around playing with children. I wonder what this treat is going to be. Every time we come to the plaza, it's always packed with people. Most of the popular shops are clustered in this area. I observe the town quietly before my eyes land on the statue of the king. He looks noble, riding a rearing stallion. The sight makes my heart twist uncomfortably. I'm pulled out of my thoughts when a child trips and falls in front of me. He begins to cry. Should I do something? But before I can react, a man and woman are there, pulling the child up. The man takes the child in his arm as the woman rubs his back. There, my love. Mama and Papa are here now. Oh yes, the same generic people who have tried to mug me or otherwise insult me, or I don't know. Again, probably not the same people, but the same drawing though. So I'm just reminded again of the people who keep trying to kill me. I watch as they slowly walk away. My mother's still crooning to her child. Crooning? No. Mother would always get angry at me if I was about to cry. I wonder what it's like to be comforted like that. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are you okay? I keep the family in sight for as long as I can before turning to Waltz. I'm fine. Here. Okay, it's an apple. What is this? A candied apple. A long time ago I promised I would bring you one, but I was able to keep that promise. That's why I'm fulfilling it now. I do not recall such a promise. I twirl the candy, inspecting its glazed and shiny appearance. You know, I don't think I've ever eaten a candied apple or candy apple. Is it like I don't know, I have no idea. What is a candy apple? Is it like a actual, I don't know, is it like all candy all the way? Or is it just like an apple but with a glazed candy surface, I guess? I don't know. I didn't know you could make an apple look like this. I promise there are no poison apples here. These ones are just sweet. I sniff at the candy. Sweet. No. I take a small bite. Well, I become so immersed in my taste tests that I did not even hear Waltz. The candied apple tastes like nothing I ever tried before. Which is funny, considering that she probably lives in the palace, right? She lives in the palace as a princess, so she probably eats the best meals ever. You know, cooked by the best chefs in the kingdom, but I guess she just never ate, I guess, the equivalent of junk food, you know? This is good. I take another bigger bite. Is that a smile I see, princess? What? I wasn't smiling at all, was I? When I get some extra money from my shows, I'll be sure to treat you again. I have lots of favorites to show you. There are more desserts like this? Of course. I'll make sure you try all of them. Waltz stands and moves over to the trash bin so that I can dispose of his finished apple. It's getting late. Let's go back to the Martian. Hey, this is grown-up form that we've already saw in we already saw his grown-up form a few times already, so it's not really a spoiler, you know. It would be a spoiler if we just did his route first, I guess. I don't know. Somehow. I guess technically in the Karma route we saw his grown-up form, but the other two routes, so technically if we do the Rod and Rumpel route and then we just skip past to the Waltz route, that would be a spoiler, I guess. But anyway. The next few weeks become a blur. I continue to help out in tavern while sometimes accompanying Waltz for his shows. Though Waltz continues his lessons on goodness, I've yet to gain a single good deed. I'm slowly starting to lose hope. Well, then again, when I think about it, actually, we do actually see his grown-up form anyway. At least in the opening, the opening theme. There's the opening song, when you start up the game. I showed one time in the very beginning. You actually do just see his grown-up form, Anyway. It's been months since I was cursed, and I still have yet to complete a single good deed. Today I've been assigned the task of serving Martian customers. I honestly prefer my duties with Mr. Broom. At least I don't have to mingle with all these people. He has customer service. I I've only just entered the tavern when I freeze the sight of a familiar face. Fritz? Oh, okay, he's here. He's just here. His posture is stiff, his arms are crossed, and he's obviously uncomfortable. What is he doing here? How did he get here? I walk toward him, but did not get far before he's in front of me, down on one knee with his head bowed. I finally found you, Your Highness. How does he remember me? How did he find me? Are you gonna turn to Varg now or something? I don't know. Fritz. Princess, I have no idea what is happening, but the whole kingdom. Everyone has completely forgotten you and... Let's go somewhere else to talk. I interrupt Fritz when I notice all the stairs around the room. Not so fast. Seemingly from nowhere, Jurian and Garland are in front of me, separating me from Fritz. Lady Jurian, Sir Garland, I was told you left Angel. What are you two doing here? I could ask you the same, Sir Fitzgerald. What are you doing here? Fritz is at a loss for words as he stares at Jurian, confused. Answer the questions, Sir Fitzgerald. What are you doing here? I'm quickly reaching the end of my patience. Just let me talk to him. Neither Jurian nor Garland back down. If anything, they only look more ready to draw their swords. I don't trust him. I mean, yeah, they're good. I mean, they're right. We can trust Fritz, but we can't trust Varg, at least in this timeline, I guess. As I look at the three of them, I remember the story of Jurian and Garland's dismissal from the Order of Caldera. Sir Alcaster was the one that dismissed them, so perhaps they hold some sort of grudge. Is it because Fritz is Sir Alcaster's son? I do not know why you do not trust Sir Alcaster, but Fritz is a completely different person. He's my knight, who would never harm me. We have our reasons for doing this, Princess. I sigh, rubbing in my forehead with my hand to try to dispel an impending headache. I swear, you're a lot like a bed of snakes. Stop hissing at each other. Delora walks in from behind me, swatting at Jurian Garland to move them. She smiles at Fritz before turning to beam that same smile at Jurian Garland. If you're so concerned, then feel free to chaperone the princess with her knight. I'm sure the two of you can handle it if he tries to do something funny. Fritz's voice is quiet when he speaks. You know I would never hurt her. Fine. Okay. I glare at Jurian and Garland when we are in the reception room. Thankfully, they take the hint and retreat to the opposite wall, far enough to give Fritz and I some privacy. Fritz speaks as soon as I sink into a chair. I haven't seen you in 4 months, Princess. Yeah, at least everyone isn't dead now. I mean, yeah, we kind of reset everything, but I wonder who dies now, though. I don't know. It's been that long already. Did you know how worried I was when I woke up one day and realized that Princess Emmeline was in your place? To make things worse, no one remembered you. Not even the king. When I brought up Crown Princess Lucette, everyone thought I was delusional. Where do I even begin? I decided to start with the facts of my curse and how I meant to break it. So you have the Cinderella curse, and that's the reason you remain in the Martian? Yes. And you need to complete 3 good deeds to break it. That's right. Or I become the next, Temperament Bearer, but anyway. We don't know about that yet. And how many good deeds have you accomplished, if you don't mind me asking? I frown as I shake my head. None. I do not think I'm capable of doing good. Of course you are. I look up in surprise at Fritz's impassioned declaration. Well, let me start with this. I knew even when we first met that was not what you were expecting. I wouldn't be surprised to know that I even disappointed you. But you never said a word of complaint, even in the beginning when I made a lot of mistakes. And we both know how clumsy I was in the beginning. There's a kindness in you, Princess. I know this for a fact. Even when I look away, I can still feel Fritz's eyes and smile directed at me. I guess she was kind to Fritz. She wasn't kind to Anise, though. Remember, Anise was fired and everything, but I guess it was only because she somehow she thought that Anise messed up Delora or whatever, when she was in doll form, and Delora was her favorite doll and everything. So, well, anyway, so if everyone has forgotten who you are, how is it that I can still remember you? Well, there's only one reason that makes any sense, though it brings up more questions than answers. Those who have the fairy tale curse are not affected by the conditions of another person's curse. Wait, are you saying that I'm cursed? Unless you are secretly a witch or fairy? No, I'm definitely human. I can assure you of that. I mean, like, Lucette thought she was human as well, so... though we know that he's not a witch or a fairy, we do know that he is cursed. You know, I wonder, like, just because you say that you're human doesn't 100% guarantee that you are human, because you could be like a witch and a fairy and somebody just didn't tell you, or they erased your memories, I don't know. Anyway. What about Lady Jurian and Sir Garland? Jurian speaks up from her corner of the room. Though the knights have been feigning disinterest, there's no doubt they're listening in our conversation. We all curse, so unfortunately we don't remember Princess Lucette being, well, crown princess. We only found out when she came here. I see. Fritz's distress is apparent as he looks grimly down at the floor. He hasn't admitted having the curse, which means that he either does not know he has it or refuses to tell me. I can't believe this. How could I have the fairy tale curse and not know about it? Have there been no differences in your life lately? I suppose I've been more forgetful lately. Does that count? You've always been forgetful? I know. Fritz's posture stiffens as Jurian walks towards us from the other end of the room. Her arms are crossed and her gaze, directed at Fritz, is filled with suspicion. How are you able to find this place? Fritz looks back at me as if asking for permission, and I nod. I've been dispatching scouts throughout Anjou to look for the princess ever since she disappeared. A girl matching her description was seen in this area, entering this house. When my scouts entered this place, they found it empty and abandoned. I figured that this was as good a place as any to start looking for traces of her. Though I was expecting an empty house, not a tavern full of people. Okay, interesting. I don't know if we ever learned that, but I guess this tavern has like a special spell on it so that anyone who is not cursed and try to go in, they just see nothing. Only those with a curse or certain permitted people such as Jurian and myself can enter this place and see it for what it is. So I really am cursed then. Fritz is silent for a few moments as he considers what was just said to him. That does explain things, though not as much as I liked. Fritz stands. I still have many questions to ask, but I'm expected back in the palace. Fritz turns to look at Jurian and Garland. I do not know why the two of you are here, but I'm glad that you are. I know I can trust you to keep the princess safe. Please, take care of her. You don't have to tell us twice. Fritz smiles in reply before turning once more to bow to me. Until we see each other again, princess, as I transform into Varg, probably. You know, later on,